Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Amazon just came by and Jeff Bezos brought me all kinds of stuff. So let's check it out. Look at this. You know, we got the sport bumper and we needed fog lights. Look at what we got. Some LEDs. These are going to be great. So I got these to match. Boom. So you can kind of see the same style. I wanted to go with that same look right there. So these in the sport bumper is going to look freaking sick right down there. It's going to be dope. All right. Next thing we have is some lug nuts. So you guys know I don't have any aftermarket lug nuts on there yet. And that's because I had to buy adapters. So now I've got the right thread pitch for these, and I debated on whether I'm going to get black ones or chrome ones, and I figured I'm just going to keep it chrome. I've had the black ones before and the paint just chips over time, and I got the ones that have the splines. These are going to be great for in there. The next thing we got is our spray gun. So this, I'm actually going to make another video on this, but this is the R500, and all you guys who paint out there, you guys know exactly what this is. This is the LVLP. That way I can spray with my small little compressor. Well, I'm going to do a whole little dive video on that and teach you guys at least what I've learned. And because I was getting ready to spend $500 to $800 on Marketplace for a big old tall compressor, I figured out you really don't need to do that. I got some guide coat here. This is the stuff that I need so I can see all the dents and all the irregularities in the paint or in the surface. Since they're so small, they can't really catch it with your eyes. I got the guide coat. That way we can go ahead and see where all that is. This right here is exactly what you see. Sanding blocks, okay? All kinds of different ones. So these are something like this would be great for like in here or over there on the front. This is gonna be great. I've got that. I need to get some actual sanding paper because right now I just have the sanding discs. We have to get some actual sanding paper, but got all kinds of different blocks in there, different sizes and whatnot. So that's going to be great. And then this right here, you guys know that we have a small boost leak in the truck somewhere. I still have the stock boots on this truck and they are thin. I've seen a ton of videos of people doing boost leaks and they get a bunch of pinholes in their boots right here because they have the stock boots. I found this kit on Amazon for like 40 bucks. Came with all the clamps. I had one clamp break on me, so I've got a big hose clamp that's in there and it's just not tight enough. So I got these. The clamps look like they're decent and it looks like it's quality, nice and thick. You can see several layers in there. Yeah, so hopefully that will solve our issue, but if not, I said for 40 bucks, I need to replace them. Nobody wants the stock ones after 26 years. You know what I mean? Just not a good thing. So got these on Amazon. I'll put the link down in the description. They came with some nice clamps here. You can see. The reason I did that is because you can see here, I got a hose clamp on that one. And these look like they're all the stock boots, especially the one down here. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and get it switched out. Okay, I got one boot on here. I was having a little bit of issues with the, I thought that maybe I had a boost leak around this Chinese intake horn. So I cleaned off the surfaces real well. And I've got 2 brand new gaskets for it. Last time it only came with 1 gasket, so I used RTV on the bottom, and I don't know if it was leaking. It could have been, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now since I got the gaskets. So I've got the surfaces nice and cleaned up down here, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in. You can see here, I got the new one on there. There are 2 ridges of metal in here. You can see right here like this. So I made sure I pushed the boot nice and far up in there. I have plenty of room in there. And then I put the band just on the inside. So there's gonna be absolutely no boost leaks from this guy. This is the stock one that I pulled off. I mean, I don't know if it's stock, but it feels like it, but it's much thinner. You guys can see the difference in the rubber, way thinner. And also on the top here, there's a big old gash. I tried to shine some light through it. I don't see any light through it. I don't see a tear on the inside, but that could have been the main cause of my boost leak right there. Then obviously this is the other one that we took off, but this one might have been replaced. But this one's super thin compared to that one. I mean, it's crazy. Just like that, we got it put on. You can see, honestly, I was a little worried about the red. I thought it would be a little too ricey, but it came out pretty good. Not too bad. My gaskets went in just fine over there on the heater block right there. So that went in great. I got to touch up my paint right there on the shoe horn, or on the intake horn there. It goes right down through there, comes right out under here. Everything is nice and clamped on, everything's tight. I tell you what, for 35, 40 bucks, this little kit is not bad. I mean, all the boots were perfectly sized. Clamps are great. They have the little tension springs in there to keep tension on them just in case just to make sure they don't back out. This side is all done and buttoned up, and I'm starting to transition over here to this side. Well, we're gonna start doing this side. I think we need to pull the intake boot, and then we can also, I guess, let's take the intake boot off and then see what we got to do from there. All right, guys, I was able to get it out of there. It was a little bit of a task, but good news is I checked the play on the turbo, I checked the shaft, I wiggled it up and down and in and out, completely tight, absolutely no play whatsoever. So that's a good sign. And I'm honestly thinking about repainting the turbo or maybe doing my own DIY powder coat or something. You guys let me know down in the comments if you guys have any experience with that. I was looking up last night, the little DIY powder coat guns that they have. You just bake it right here in the oven. I think that the turbo would be a fun thing to try that out on. So you guys let me know down in the comments if that would be something you guys want to see. I think it'd be super cool. But check this out. Here is the bottom boots here. Try to keep my hands somewhat clean if I can, but you guys can see that these boots have seen better days. I mean, they're not horrible, but this one's got a cut on it. It's got a big old gash in it right there. So who knows where the boost leak was at. I do know for a fact that this clamp right here was not even on. You guys can actually tell that it's actually still tight. You see the play in this one versus this one. So this one right here, I don't know if it blew off. I can't even slide it back on there. But when I looked under there, I started taking this apart. This wasn't even on there. You see how this is clean and then this one is dirty? If this was on there, it would look clean like that. I think my boost leak was right here. You can kind of see, I'm not quite sure if the boot moved or if that's just from it blowing air. Long story short, we've got new boots for it. So let's go ahead, rip these off. I think I'm gonna clean this up real quick with the wire wheel that I got over here. I'm gonna wire wheel this up real fast and then we'll throw a coat of paint on it before we put it back in. Check me out, guys. So I'll tell you what, having that bench grinder is really, really nice. And having that wire wheel attachment on it is even nicer. So this thing was full of all kinds of pock marks and crustaceans and everything else. So honestly, I didn't really go too crazy with it, but it's all knocked down. It's all nice and smooth now. I just hit it with some brake cleaner and we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some of that satin black. It's down buried underneath all kinds of stuff, so it doesn't need to look too perfect, but it does need to look better than the way it did. So let's go ahead and throw some paint on it and see how it comes out. Alrighty guys, I got that good old satin black here. Alrighty, so I'm glad that we got this little charge pipe cleaned up, as well as that little elbow on the turbocharger. Nice to have those things cleaned up, and it really helps with the presentation of the truck. Also, take a look at this truck when we rip off this 4th gen bumper. Man, this thing looks so sick. I wish I could just ride around town like that with the bumper ripped off. I mean, I know it's kind of silly, but it still looks like a transformer or something. It almost kind of looks like a 4th gen if you really look at it. So all right guys, so that was a success. I was able to get the 4th gen bumper off there, which is sick. I've got it sitting over to the side somewhere back here. I'm gonna clean it up and I'm gonna put it on Facebook Marketplace. I guess I should just call it Marketplace. I'm gonna clean it up and put it on Marketplace, and hopefully somebody will come and grab it. We'll just go ahead and start working on that sport bumper. But I wanted to show you guys what I was working on also, kind of behind the scenes. So here you'll see this radiator, this whatever this is, the condenser, so the radiator's back there, the intercooler's here. I think this is for the AC or the transmission, one of the two. But long story short, all of these spots that you see were completely flattened down, kind of like this one. I wonder if you can see here. So I don't know what went through here, but this had a bunch of spots. And what I did was I took my little pick here and I was going down through here, and I would find a little spot and I would bend it back straight, and I would bend it back straight. And it was a little time consuming, but I did it while I'm waiting for this thing to dry. So I just kind of went through here and I was finding little spots. You can see I've kind of already been through here, but just kind of straightened them out. Yeah, anyways, there was a lot of flat spots and I cleaned up a lot of them so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish knocking that out while I'm waiting for this to dry, and then we can go ahead and put that back together. All right, y'all, I was putting the other side back together with new boots, and I took this thing off the turbo. It was all nasty, it was crusty. This thing's all aluminum, so it had all kinds of corrosion on it. And I just used my wire wheel over there on the bench, and I knocked it all down, got it looking really nice and fresh. Went ahead and hit it with a nice thick coat of that Rust-Oleum. That way, all of our boost piping is all satin black now with red boots. Looks really good. Super excited about it. Alrighty, check me out, guys. So we got it all in there, got everything sitting nice. Everything's tightened up. I cleaned all the boots off and everything, but you can see So you can see that there's two ridges there. So there's going to be a ridge here and a ridge here. And you can see I've got the band in between all of them, even that one up there, all of those. And I think I showed you guys, but I painted that little elbow that comes off the turbo. It's got my fingerprints all over it because I didn't quite let it dry, but that's okay. I also painted that boost pipe down there. Both of those were just rotten aluminum. They looked basically like the turbo. They looked really nasty and yellow and corroded. So hit them with the wire wheel and got them with the satin black. Yeah, so you guys can see that we got the boots on there. Everything's sitting nice and happy. Everything's clocked right. Everything's super tight. Absolutely no chance of boost leaks whatsoever. I can guarantee it. Another trick I like to do when I'm doing the intercooler pipes like that is I like to take my finger and dip it in a little bit of oil or transmission fluid. Use some type of oil or lubricant on your finger and just wet the inside of the silicone boot, and it'll slide right over those pipes, and it'll be a nice clean breeze. Also, if you have a chance, or if you have the chance, clean off the pipes meet up with the couplers. Try to clean those off because any type of corrosion or rough abrasion is going to make them harder to sit on, and it could also add potential for leaks. So nice, clean, smooth surface, easy to install, and guaranteed no leaks. But this is looking great. I got those fins all fixed up like I was telling you guys about. You guys can see all the patches that I did. I got them all straightened out now, so this thing will be breathing a lot better. I have not done this one. I don't even think it's worth my time because so many of them are smashed. And then you can see this boot over here. This is looking really good. Everything is seated up. So all the boost pipes are black, and all the charge boots are red. And everything, I guess the theme of this engine bay is going to have to be black and red. Now, especially, we got the red head down there, the steering box, you guys can see. So I think I'm going to do the valve cover next. And then if I don't upgrade turbos, we'll end up painting that housing. But if I upgrade turbos, we're going to get the Fleece Cheetah turbo. Yeah, if we upgrade turbos on this truck, I've been doing my research and I really like the Fleece Cheetah turbo. Seems to sound the best. I've seen a lot of good reviews on the Fleece Cheetah. You guys let me know what you think would be a good turbo for this thing. I know about the Aurora turbos as well too. Those things are kind of tried and true. So you guys put down in the comments what type of turbo you think works best for this 5.9 24 valve Cummins, and I'll see about getting that, because that's pretty much all we're missing on this thing. Whenever we take off the valve cover, I'll try to see if we actually have head studs in the truck, and if not, we'll do that as well while we're in there. You guys can see we got the 4th gen bumper pulled off of there. I noticed 2 dings on it, so I went ahead and circled them with Sharpie. That way they're clearly visible in the pictures whenever I post them for sale. I don't want anybody to have any surprises on anything that I ever sell. And we still have the sport bumper sitting over here with those super dope LED fog lights that we're going to put in there, which these are going to look so sick. They're going to look like eyes, and they really do match the headlight. I'm super stoked about it. Check this out. So I went ahead and I got some self-etching primer just to go ahead and see what it's all about, see what it does. And then also I got this Wrinkle Plus. So this is what we're going to be doing on the valve cover. I've been doing a lot of research trying to figure out what I want to do, and I figured I would try this first. Worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I can just always peel it off with some paint strippers. Yeah, I mean, like I said, for 15 bucks, you can't beat it. We'll put it on there. We'll see how we like it. And hopefully it gives us somewhat of like a nice OEM look. That's really what I'm going for. And then you guys know it's super hot down here in Florida. It's literally 7 o'clock in the evening, and it's probably every bit of 95 degrees out right now, and that's okay. But I don't have any insulation in this building, and I've got to rely on some of these little fans, but these fans don't move as much air as you would expect. So I was doing a bunch of research, and I found this fan here. This fan, I found it on Amazon first, and then I was able to find it over at Walmart so I could get it the same day. But this little fan right here, I've had a few of these in the past. They moved a ton of air, and this actually has USBs on one side and a plug on the other, so you can link them together, or you can power certain things off of here. Nothing too crazy, but you can see it's got all these different ways that you can set it and whatnot. That way you can adjust, where you want the air to point to and everything. So let's open this thing up and see how strong it is. I'm sure it's going to be way better than that thing right there. You can see here it's got 3 different settings, and the knob is actually nice in case you have gloves on or something. I saw some of them that were just like flat, and it's a little bit hard to deal with if you've got gloves on, so that's sick. Then you can see here's the outlet, and like I said, nothing too crazy. You can't power a grinder off of it or anything, but you can definitely link up another fan, or maybe plug your phone up and stuff like that. It's got a little relay, like a little circuit breaker here, just in case. And then it's got the 2 little USB ports here on the sides. Not bad at all. I tell you what, for 50 bucks, I'll take it. You can see here, you can just set it all kinds of different ways. All right, y'all, it's not too bad. Check this out. So this will be low here. Y'all can kind of hear it. So not too bad, not too bad. This is number 2 here. Not too bad. And number 3. I would say that standing right here in front of it, and it's on 3, I'm probably 10 feet away, and it feels like it's at least, if I was on the electric bike doing maybe 15 miles an hour or so, maybe even a little bit more. So that's really nice. I could definitely stand here if I was sweaty and dry off, so that's super sick. For 50 bucks, I might even go get another one and put it on the other side. Not a bad way to spend the 4th of July, huh? Just lounging in the driveway in the sun while Daddy works on the truck. Imagine that. Hey, you. So you guys remember I had some stuff that I posted on Marketplace, and I had 2 drop hitches from my last truck. I had an 8-inch and a 6-inch. Well, I just sold the 8-inch for 50 bucks. Can't beat that. Just met the guy about 3 minutes down the road. I still have the 6-inch for sale. That I still have them. I had that one posted for 50 bucks as well. But hey, you can't beat that. I'm telling you, I've already made like $200 or $300 off of some stuff that's just been sitting around that I haven't used in a while. I'm probably not going to use it for a while either, because you guys know I have this 10-inch aluminum one, which is like, that's my favorite one. So, but anyways, 50 bucks, you can't beat it. All right, guys, so it's a new day, and instead of continuing on with the body work, I actually wanted to do something with the valve cover, something I've never done before. I want to try this new to me coating on it. I've done hammered texture, I've done the self-anodized, all that stuff, but I really wanted to try this textured look. I think it's called the Wrinkle Plus. I've got it right here. So the Wrinkle Plus, and we're gonna go ahead and see how it looks. What I plan on doing is doing the wrinkle on it and then shaving down all the embossed letters. That way it kind of gives like somewhat of an OEM feel to it. I know it's not gonna be factory like it came, but I want it to look a little more modern and also a little OEM. So let me show you guys the valve cover and whatnot, and we'll go ahead and get it out of there and get started. So here's the valve cover here, and very simple. You guys already know. We're just gonna pull out those bolts right there. What is it, 5 bolts, 6 bolts? We're gonna pull those bolts out right there and just pull the thing out. Honestly, the whole thing is pretty clean. All we need to do is just scuff it up with some Scotch-Brite, and we'll go ahead and start throwing the wrinkle on there. This stuff right here, I've watched a ton of videos on it, and I like the way that it comes out. I know that it's really used for older muscle cars and kind of like a JDM thing. A lot of Honda guys put this on there, but they really use the red one. I figure we'll go ahead and try it. For 15 bucks is what that can cost. I figure for 15 bucks, we'll see what we can do. I was just talking to a powder coating guy in the area, and I just got a quote from him to powder coat the turbo, the valve cover, all the boost piping. I wanted him to do the coils as well, and as well as the track bar, the crossover, the drag links, all that stuff. So I got a quote from him, and he said it'd be about 1,000 bucks. I've got a couple of colors I'm playing with, so we'll go ahead and we'll think about that. That's going to be something that we do after we get done painting the truck. I was thinking about doing it while I'm painting the truck, because it's really just sitting here in the garage, but I don't know. I got a lot of things that I'm thinking about doing. I'm contemplating. I always try to work efficiently and knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And I think that while the truck's just sitting here for a month or so, it's a good time to get some things powder coated and some things replaced. So anyways, let's go ahead and rip off this valve cover, and let's go ahead and see how this wrinkle comes out. I hope it comes out good, but if not, it doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and get it powder coated. Alrighty guys, there you go. You can see in here, I'd like to do the valve leash thing that I've seen online. I'd like to adjust all these and see how it goes. Alrighty guys, as you can see, we're here in my little wash station, and we've got the valve cover off. Seems like it's in pretty good shape. You guys can tell that when I got the truck, I was pressure washing everything. I got it all clean except for in the back here. So anyways, got some degreaser, got my gloves, and I got the super coarse Scotch-Brite. This is a step between the red Scotch pad and the steel wool. So this will be great. Let's go ahead and get it knocked out. All right, y'all, check me out. So what I did was I went ahead and degreased everything. You guys, I'm pretty sure you guys saw that part. And then I also took my sander and I got rid of the little sticker that was right there. And then you can also see here, I took the orbital sander because it's nice and flat. And I put it on here and look how clean that came out, guys. That's a little sneak peek of what it's gonna look like with that wrinkle black as the background. These are the parts that I'm gonna come back around. I'm not gonna waste my time masking them off or anything. I just sanded them down. That way I didn't have to do too much whenever I do have it done and painted, because I don't want all the metal shavings and everything going into the paint when it's done, even though it'll be dry. And I'm glad I did, because this was pretty uneven all through here. And now you can see I've got it completely flattened out. This thing's gonna look great. So all of this is nice and smooth. I kind of like the way that this 80 grit looks with, like, it almost gives it like a brushed look. So we might leave it like that, who knows? The only thing is I just don't know how to clear coat it around the wrinkle. I guess what I could always do is I could spray some clear coat into a cup, and then I could use a brush or a small foam pad, and I can go back and I could clear coat these raw metal sections, only because it's aluminum and it's not going to stay shiny forever. So let's see. I think I have some of the clear coat left over from the exhaust, which is great because it's high temp. So we'll see if we can play around with that. I'm not too concerned about it, but it would be nice to keep it nice and shiny, especially now that we got it nice and clean. But either way, it's gonna look 10 times better than it did before. Super excited about it. I've got it completely cleaned. I did the air compressor, and then I also wiped it all down with some alcohol. So let's go ahead and lay some paint on this thing. Getting ready to spray right here, but you guys can also see that I cleaned up these bolts right here. I just took them on the wire wheel down there, and I just got them looking nice and as chrome as I could get them. I was gonna replace them, but then I saw they have these weird little ends on them, and I was like, well, they can't be replaced. So anyways, they're a lot cleaner than they were. Alrighty guys, now I think it has a 5-minute flash time, so I'll check back in with you when it's time for the second coat. Just like that, it's been 5 minutes, and we're ready for our second coat. We're gonna go a little heavier with this coat. But I tell you what, so far this has been going on very well. It's a nice thick coat when it comes out, and I've always had great luck with VHT. Their products have usually always been very good. All right, let's go ahead and get this on there. All right, guys, that was a nice, thick, heavy coat, and this stuff is laying on really good. Even though it's about 95, 98 degrees outside, inside my shop it might be about 94, 92, and it's laying really good. Usually when things get this hot, usually it comes out real runny and kind of spits out of the can, but you guys can see it's a nice, thick, even coat. Love that. Alrighty, y'all. Time for the third coat. We're gonna go nice and heavy, and we're gonna go in an opposite pattern. So I've been going this way, so now we're gonna go this way. Okay, I'd say we have about a little less than half, in between a third and a half left. And they say to do 3 heavy coats after the tack coat. So that was we did our tack coat, our first coat, and that was our second coat. We have 1 more coat to do. All right, since I put that last coat on really thick, that was the second coat. We are ready for the third coat. I let that one sit for about 7-8 minutes, and now we're ready for, technically it should be the final coat, but we're gonna see. I have a feeling we're gonna do 1 more final coat after this. All right, y'all, that's it. I got enough in here that I can actually save it for another project. And honestly, it's already starting to wrinkle on me. So we're gonna go ahead and set it in the sun. So I watched a ton of videos on this, and a lot of people were using a heat gun to go ahead and accelerate that wrinkle. But I'm not in any rush to put it back on the truck. It's so hot down here in Florida with the sun and everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and set it outside on my little fire pit. Right now it's about 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's gonna bake out there perfect. This is a slow drying paint, so just keep that in mind. If any of you guys do that out there, just keep that in mind. It takes a little while for it to cure. If you can let it sit overnight, that's really the best move. So let's go ahead and set it out in the sun, and then I'll check in with you guys after it's all done. All right, guys, there you go. Check it out. You can already kind of start to see some wrinkle effect coming in right there. And up here on the front. If this was regular paint and you saw that, you would be freaking out about right now. It's gonna look really good. I got a really nice heavy coat on everything. And man, it's gonna look great, especially after I sand down all those edges that we did earlier. Ooh, I'm so stoked. Alrighty guys, well, it's been about 5 hours since we put it out in the sun, let it cure. I brought it inside because I didn't have wrinkling happening all over it. It was only happening in certain areas. So I hit it with another few coats just to kind of get rid of the can. And I hit it with the heat gun as well, trying to get that to kind of come out. And honestly, it just didn't come out as even as I was hoping. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we got. And I guess I guess we know now that the wrinkle finish, at least for this, I don't know if it's the diesel or what. I mean, you guys know that I scrubbed that thing really well. I used degreaser as well as dish soap, and I scrubbed it with a real abrasive pad. A couple of times I washed it, and then I rinsed it and washed it again. So I don't know, maybe it was the way that I put it on, and maybe it was just too hot down here. Maybe it was too hot, it was too humid. Maybe it would have took better had I sprayed it in the evening time, but oh well. Let me go ahead and show you what we got before I strip it all off. All right, so here we go. And I mean, from far away, it doesn't look horrible, right? I mean, from back here, it looks great. And who knows, I might keep it for a little bit until I figure out what I'm gonna actually do with it. I mean, we still might end up getting this powder coated, but you guys can see, don't worry about any of this because we're gonna sand all this off up here. But you can see that it's nice and wrinkly here, and then no wrinkle happened. And now this is on the back where all that oil and built up residue was. So you can see, and I even hit that again. Also on this side as well. So there you go. You guys can kind of see that it's just not even all the way down. And I mean, it might be the way that I sprayed it, but gosh, I don't know. This is my first time using this stuff. I kind of treated it like I do bed liner, and maybe that's not the right move. Maybe I put it on too thick. This is the front that we're all going to be looking at, and I mean, you can see it just looks horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Now, this is nothing against VHT. I'm gonna take full responsibility for it. Maybe I just didn't prep it right, or I didn't do it right, but you guys can see over here on the side how patchy it is. So some parts it wanted to wrinkle, and look right in there how thick it is down in there. I guess, you know, you try, you win some and you lose some. So I'm going to let it cure overnight. It says that it could take, you know, up to 2 days to fully cure and whatnot. So I'm going to let it sit. We don't have anything going on with the truck. So I'm going to let it sit and see if maybe by some miracle it turns out better. But I'm still going to sand off the letters when it dries, just so at least I can see what it looks like when it's done. So yeah, anyways, guys, I'm sorry about that. It kind of, you know, you win some, you lose some. That's just kind of the name of the game on this stuff. And I'm not afraid to show you guys whenever I mess something up, or if something doesn't work out quite the way that I was expecting it to. And like I said, this is nothing against VHT. I saw plenty of videos where it turned out great. That's what made me want to do it in the first place. But I clearly just messed up on one of the steps somewhere. Honestly, I think I might have put it on too thick. And then another thing is, I think that it might have just been way too hot. Spraying that stuff at 1 o'clock in the afternoon down here in Florida, it's probably 100 degrees outside, literally. And I know that they said some of our field temperatures were 104, 106. So maybe it was just way too hot to put that on there, but. All right, so it is later on in the same day from when I just did this. And I just wanted to show you guys that this is what it would have looked like had it turned out the right way. You guys can see all of the buildup and stuff. It just didn't come out perfect the way I want it, but from far away it looks decent, right? You can see I sanded all this down, got it all looking really good, except for this little thing. It was a little high, so it got sanded, but all in all, I mean, it doesn't look horrible. So I'm about to put it back in the truck just so it's not sitting completely open like that, but we're definitely going to strip this thing down and do something completely different. All right, y'all, there you go. So you can see there, I don't even know why this looks clean. We still have to redo this and obviously redo this, but check that out. So you can see the boots down there, the intake pipes, this one as well. And then look at that valve cover. It doesn't look horrible now when it's inside the truck, but it still is not up to my standards. But it looks way better than it did before. It looks way better. Put down in the comments what you guys think about it. Should I try it again or should I try something different? Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Sorry it didn't work out, but oh well, you win some, you lose some. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you guys can always find me on Instagram at Ray's Garage, YouTube, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys.